All right, good evening, everybody. We've got head coach Dana Holgerson and student athletes following as soon as we get done with coach. We'll take questions if you'll use the raise your hand tool on the right. So we got Mark Berman up first from Fox 26. Mark, go ahead.
Dana, how are you? A couple of questions. One, can you talk about how significant it is to bounce back after losing to BYU to the kind of game you played?
Passers continue to collect trash. Please bring it to
I don't really look at it like that. We just take every week and we try to improve. Hadn't really talked about BYU since last Sunday because we needed to make a concerted effort to learn from that game and turn the page and move on. Our week of preparation was a lot better this week than it was last week, and I expect it to get even better next week. You know, after having 3 games now, we've practiced what it needs to be like to get a game over with and learn from it and move on to the next one. So, you know, it wasn't anything other than just trying to continue to improve and learn how to prepare better. And I think we did that this week. You know, one of the other things we did was focus on trying to become a smarter football team and a more disciplined football team. And we still got a long ways to go when it comes to that. Just too much stupid stuff once again, you know, and you know, I like our team. We battle, we play hard. Our effort is great. Our physicality is good. They care, they try, we make plays, but we do stupid stuff, which is discouraging, but it's also encouraging that you can go on the road and beat a Navy team that's 3-0 in our league, you know, by 16 points, and they even got a cheap one at the end. You know, but you win by 16 points, and just we continue to do stupid stuff.
What about the toughness your quarterback showed today, Clayton?
Our whole team shows toughness. I for 12 quarters, there's things that I can complain about, but effort and physicality and being tough is not one of them. So, you know, and I just think that's because our team cares. I'm proud of our team. They care. Effort is good. We just got to keep getting better week to week, and I think we will.
Next question, Joseph Duarte, Houston Chronicle.
Dana, along the lines of that toughness, your defensive line took away that inside for their fullbacks. Is that kind of what the plan was, and can you kind of address just how you were able to control them in the running game?
Yeah, obviously it's been an emphasis for us in just a year or two in the system with what we're doing. It's better. You know, I thought we were pretty good against the run against BYU, which ran for, you know, a gazillion yards here on this field over here about a month and a half ago. You know, then obviously against Tulane, we've already talked about that. So maybe same thing. We gave up over 400 yards rushing against these guys last year. You know, obviously their quarterback, you know, may have had something to do with that a year ago, but you know, just, yeah, I mean, you stop the run against Navy, you should be in pretty good shape. You force them to pass, you should be in pretty good shape. Unfortunately, we forgot to cover the tight end a couple times in the first half, which those were their only 2 explosive plays that they had. And unfortunately, it was 2 touchdowns. But other than that, yeah, was happy with the way they played. Didn't like how we finished. We shouldn't have gave up that last touchdown. But you know, that stuff will get addressed just based on doing some dumb things, and we'll continue to get better.
Back to Mark Berman from Fox. Mark?
Dana, one outside the box question, if you don't mind. At the end of the game, your entire team went over to the Navy side while they played their school song, and you were out there too, showing y'all's respect. Could you talk about that and how meaningful that is?
Yeah, it's the first time I've been here. I've competed against Navy 3 times now, you know, so that's just kind of one of the traditions. But first time being in this stadium, it's a pretty special place now. I mean, I've always wanted to come here. I've got a great deal of respect for Ken, and I can't pronounce his last name. Niamataloto. Was I close? Yeah. We all call him Ken. And so I think everybody can understand that. But just all the respect in the world for him and, you know, this program, what they stand for, you know, protecting our country, just well-disciplined young men. All the cadets in the stadium was awesome. You know, they socially distanced throughout the whole place, but it looked like there was about 5,000-6,000 of them. It's a beautiful place, and just what they stand for is something that, you know, it was an honor for me to be able to, you know, be on the field in Annapolis, Maryland, and then good news, we got out of here with a win.
Back to Joseph.
Dana, I guess you mentioned earlier this week about always trying to get the ball in Speedy's hands. You guys got, I think, 10 targets, 9 catches. You just kind of look at what he does and how he can just change a game with his speed and route running.
Yeah, I mean, some of that last week was on me. I think BYU did it. I mean, I got to have more answers, okay? And I said this after, I said it on Monday. I got to have more answers. If they're doing things to take him out of the game with, inside coverage and outside coverage, Dever coverage, whatever you want to call it, I've got to do a better job of being able to be multiple with what we do offensively, move him around and get him the ball. We were able to do that tonight. It wasn't going to happen 2 weeks in a row. He's got to understand that when they double cover him, that's kind of an honor, and, don't give up on things and don't get frustrated on things. And me and him had a long talk on Sunday about that very thing, because that's going to open up other people by him just continuing to do his job. Now, with that said, I still got to do a better job of getting him the ball. I think we did a really good job of getting him the ball tonight. Toon knows who he is and where he is, and he's going to make plays, and so we're going to get him targeted as much as we can. The defense does somewhat dictate that a little bit, but we also got to be creative and get him the ball as much as we can.
That second hit on Clayton, the one where the elbow to the helmet, when he came over, was there any immediate concern, or was there anything about keeping him out, or was he okay? Did he just tell you flat out, "I'm okay to go back in"?
You're gonna have to ask our doctors. I don't ever deal with that. I mean, that's never anything that I deal with. I mean, anything that is medically related is 100% in our doctors' hands. We're fortunate to have some of the best medical care in the country, right? And so we got doctors on the sidelines that do an unbelievable job, not only when it comes to COVID, but injuries as well. It was a cheap shot. And they called it. And they kicked the kid out of the game. We brought him to the sidelines. The doctors assessed him, and he went back in and played really good.
Next up, James Mueller.
I will say this too, though. I mean, we got to do a good job. A better job, and we got to keep coaching him to get down and avoid hits. I mean, it's a part of the game, but we can control that. He can control that. Go out. If he would have stepped out of bounds, he wouldn't have landed on his shoulder there in the first quarter. And if he would have slid the appropriate way, he wouldn't have took that shot. So we got to learn from that and do a better job of avoiding those hits.
Next up, James Mueller from the Daily Cougar. James?
Yes, Dana. So a lot of time this week we talked about penalties and limiting those mistakes. And today, after the first drive of the game, y'all sort of cut down on those. Would you say this week was an improvement on being more disciplined as a team?
No, I will not say that. We will look at each and every situation and coach it hard. No, I didn't see the appropriate improvement that needs to happen in order for us to contend in this conference. I can't talk about it more than we talked about it, but we'll take each and every situation and we'll dissect it, and we'll explain to the team what needs to happen in order to get better, to become a more disciplined football team when it comes to penalties and dumb stuff.
Got time for 2 more. First up, Andy Yanez from the Daily Cougar.
Yeah, Dana, my question for you is on the offensive line. There was still more player movement in today's game. Are you guys still trying to figure out the right lineup, or was that a medical issue, or what happened on the O-line?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have Patrick Paul available. So, Ruben stepped in and got his first start, and I thought for the most part did okay. We'll have to look at it and see, and he'll continue to get better. But, it's our mentality. We don't have people available. We don't want to use that as an excuse. We're going to line up and we're going to keep playing. Didn't have Mobakar available tonight. Didn't have Jeremy Singleton available tonight. Didn't have Deontay Anderson available tonight. There's, nothing we can do about that. So next guy's got to go in there and play. And if guys step in and play at the level that we expect them to, then we have a chance to win. And tonight we went to Navy and won by 16 points. I'm proud of it.
All right, last one for Coach. We'll go back to JD. Joseph?
Dana, Dalton Witherspoon, you guys have been really good in the red zone, but when things kind of stall, he was in there and produced for you guys. Can you just kind of talk what he's done this season, really last year as well, just to be able to be that production for you?
Yeah, since Tulane last year, he was pretty daggum solid the rest of the year. I mean, didn't he break a school record by consecutive field goals or something like that?
Yes.
So that's why we scheduled Tulane first this year, so he could go ahead and get his miss out of the way and then just make the rest of them the rest of the year. And he's been 4 for 4 since. We got all the confidence in the world in Dalton. You know, he's a great young man. He's a spectacular, place kicker and drilled 3 of them. And they weren't just chip shots either now, so I think one was a 53-yarder. And, when offense stalls out, we're going to be more aggressive and go for it on 4th down. You saw us do it a couple times tonight. But with that said, I felt like we needed points early, and we were struggling to get movement up front. So I thought the right call was for him to get points on the board, and we went 3 for 3 in the first half.
All right, guys, thanks a bunch. We'll have student athletes here shortly. All right, everybody, we've got a senior defensive lineman, Peyton Turner. We'll let questions start for Peyton when you guys are ready by using the right-hand tool. All right, first up, we'll go to James Mueller from the Daily Cougar, and then we'll go to Joseph Duarte after that. James?
Yeah, Peyton. So tonight was the first turnover y'all forced all season. Can you talk about how that felt to finally have it pay off, all the work y'all been putting in?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that question.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's kind of in and out.
Okay.
Go ahead, though.
So y'all forced your first turnover tonight. Can you talk about what that meant as a team and sort of how that felt to finally get that first turnover of the season and how you can build on that as a defense?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Turnovers are big, man. And, we haven't been able to get any these past 8 quarters, these past 2 games, and that was big time, Definitely momentum swing, especially when you get the offense down in the, 30-yard line? Somewhere on there. So, that's big time. Turnovers are important. Coach made it this week to get after the ball, and I think we did that, made attempts at the ball.
Next up, Joseph Duarte from the Houston Chronicle. JD?
Hey, Peyton, if people didn't think you guys were a physical type of defense, do you think now people will believe it after what y'all have done through 4 games?
And I hope so. I know they had almost 100 yards before that last drive where we kind of let off the gas there. But, the coach has been hammering that into us, and I think that we've been doing that all camp. So this really isn't anything new to us. Maybe new to the media, but nothing new to the defense.
The along those lines, the what y'all did on the D line, kind of taking the inside away and forcing them to do other things. How much do you think that really kind of changed what they were able to do and kind of led to y'all's success?
Yeah, we knew they had that fullback had a lot of yardage going into this game. We knew that was a big time problem that we needed to address. So I think the linebackers fits were great tonight. I think the nose and our tackle, Dot and Logan Hall played really well. And I think just overall the defense played hard, which is what you got to do to stop this option.
Next up, Andy Yanez from the Daily Cougar. Andy?
Yeah, Peyton, my question for you is on how can you talk a little bit about how this defense has been so successful against rushing teams? Y'all were top 5 heading into this game, and y'all held Navy under their season average. Can you just talk about, what's the specifics on it, and, why are y'all so successful in the running attack?
Yeah, believe it or not, we actually like when teams pass it. So we're trying to make them one-dimensional so we can get after the passer. But, we take that personal that runs on us up front as a D-line and as the linebackers. And, our secondary can hit too, as you saw tonight. But that's personal. That's what we want, and we want them to run the ball. We want them to try that.
Cool. Got time for just a couple more for Peyton. Anybody have anything else?
Peyton, what you guys have done, do you feel like just compared to last year and maybe not finishing and some of the other things, being a competitive part, are y'all completely different? Do you feel, how do you think this team has come in this short amount of time?
Yeah, as you can see, I think we've come a pretty far ways. I think that the values were there last year, but the performance on the players' end wasn't there. And I think that's what's changed this year is that we have players that are ready to play, and the coaches are getting us ready every week, and we just go out there and play hard. we're playing harder than we did last year. I think is the biggest difference.
All right, anything else for Peyton, guys? And then we'll get Clayton tune up.
Thanks,
All
man.
right. All right. Thanks, BT.
Cougs.
Quarterback Clayton tune up next. We'll take questions for Clayton once you guys are ready. You will raise your hand. We'll get you in the queue. All right. Looks like JD's up first. Go ahead, Joseph.
Hey, Clayton. Just to get this win in conference like this, and the way you guys did it, what does that say kind of about this team?
It just shows the resiliency we have to come back off a loss, tough loss, and come out and get a win, and not let that get to us. And it just shows the character and the fight of this team.
Coach Holgerson was talking about toughness and being physical. Obviously, you took your share of hits tonight. How do you feel, first of all? And at any point were you on the fence whether you could continue, or was there no doubt that you were going to be able to go in there?
No, I feel great, especially now. Winning cures all, so I feel great. There was no question I was going to go back in the game. So
Next up, James Mueller from the Daily Cougar. James.
Yeah. Hey, Clayton. Coach Holgerson talked about the importance of getting Marquez involved more in the offense, and y'all did that tonight after he only had one reception against BYU. Can you just talk about what he means to this team and just the electricity he brings to that offense?
Yeah, man, he's awesome. He's one of those game-breaking type players, and if I'm a defensive coordinator, I got to know where 5 is at all times. So he means a lot. It's nice that we have a guy that can take the top off and also do a lot of other things underneath and run with the ball after catching it. So it's awesome.
Next, we'll go to Rob Sellers from 247 Sports. Rob.
Yeah, Clayton, just with the offensive line shuffling, having Patrick not available tonight and getting Jack back along the way during the game, what has everybody done in terms of staying fluid and stepping up when they had to?
They've just practiced well during the week and, got their minds right. I think their mindset is, it doesn't matter who's out there. It's just, we're going to roll out there and play as a unit, and that's what they did. So it's a testament to their preparation and their, they're getting their mind right. So I thought they did a great job.
All right, back to Joseph, and then we'll follow up with Andy after that. JD?
Clayton, Coach Holgerson was telling us that some of the emphasis now moving forward will be on protecting you in terms of whether it's runs or getting out of bounds or sliding properly. Have you worked on that a lot? Is that part of your thing, or do you not like to do that? Or do you have a baseball background that maybe you can go to in the future?
I've never worked on it, but there's a lot of talk going on about it between Coach Holgerson and Coach Dawson and I. It's not my first instinct, as you can see, but it's something I'm working on.
Next up, Andy Yanez from the Daily Cougar. Andy?
Yeah, Clay, my question for you is really on the team's penalties. I know in that first drive y'all had 3 penalties, and Dana Holgerson said that he's still not happy with how that issue has been taken care of. What do you think the team has to do to improve, and what was different from that first drive to the rest of the game?
Just settle down. I think still it's game 3, but we're still so eager to play, and just it's been a long time coming. So I think a lot of guys are still amped up, but I think we just need to settle down and play smart. That's really what it comes down to, is just playing smart and executing the right way.
All right, anything else for Clayton, guys? All right, thanks, everybody. We've got Marquez and Grant ready to go.
Yep, thank y'all.
Next, one thing I was going to mention for Speedy, it was his 6th game with at least 2 receiving touchdowns. This is his 27th straight game with a reception. So I'm just going to pass that along to you guys. We'll take questions from Speedy when you guys are ready. All right, we'll go to JD first. Joseph?
Hey, Speedy. Hey, what is it about Navy? It seems like this team usually gets you pretty pumped up.
Just I look at it like any other game. Every game I try to go out there and do my best. So happily, every time you play Navy, just not go out there and do my best.
Can I ask you about the strips on your eye during the game? They had a close up. It said "all on me." Do you have that every game, or do you switch it up? What you say?
Just this game. This game I had a different motto. Last game I ain't prepared and like have a performance that I wanted to have. So this week, all I was saying that like, I mean, if I want to go out there and perform how I want to do it, like it's all on me. It's all up to me.
Anything else for Speedy, guys?
Kind of good though to have some help though between y'all's first turnover. Al Porter carried a load today. It wasn't just having to fall on you, but you did your part as well.
Yes, sir. I mean, having guys like that to like, bag me up, it's a blessing. Like I'm gonna try to help them out just as much as they try to help me out.
All right, guys, we'll let Speedy get to the bus.
Hey, can I ask one more, Tyler?
Yeah, go ahead, JD. We'll wrap it
Hey,
up after this.
I just want to ask you about Clayton. He took a couple of tough shots where he was on the ground. What does that say about your quarterback that each time he got up, picked himself up, and continued to play?
I mean, he's a warrior. I knew he wasn't going to let that hit take him out. I knew we had a lot of game left, and I knew he wasn't going to want to sit out for it. It's a blessing that it just wasn't serious how I looked it, but I know he's a warrior at the end of the day.
You got any sliding tips for him?
Sliding tips, yeah, I'll tell him to get out of bounds.
Thanks, Speedy.
All right, thanks. Thanks, Speedy. We'll get Grant up next.
Today, I think we could have finished a little better that last drive. But, it's a grind. It's a grind, and once you get to about halfway through the third quarter, it begins to feel like practice. The fans, the adrenaline, all that dies off, and you're just reading your keys, making your tackles. And we're a team that does that in practice on defense, so that's going to reflect when we play on the field.
Hey guys,
this was y'all's first.
One more. Go ahead, JD. We got time for one more.
This was y'all's first game on the road. Any difference in how things went, or was it pretty much sort of, like a home game, in y'all's bubble?
Just the travel. The travel's fun. We enjoy the travel, and we really the fans. I mean, the cadets or whoever they were. I mean, they were talking there a whole bunch of mess. One of them texted my phone somehow after the game. So it's just that's part of it. We haven't been in enemy territory yet, so that was fun for us. We embraced that, and we canceled the noise and just went out there and played our game.
They called the NSA to get your phone number, or what?
I don't know what they did, man. I got a text message on my phone.
Hey guys, we'll let Andy get the last question, then we got to get on the bus.
No, Tyler, I didn't have a question. I think that was from last time.
Oh, okay, all good. Well, I'll tell you what, we got to hit the road, guys. We appreciate you. We'll send a recording out shortly.
Appreciate it.